ngeke uzuphinde ukhuluma nje lo mndeni wami.
Est-ce qu'il serait smart pour nous
Je sens moi. Lo mnuke ashtray.
an ashtray? How? Mina nginuka njenge ashtray. Cha ke bua le wena. Keng o tlhoka dikarabo.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ASR, African Stories Realized. This is our weekly review of The Wife Season 3. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Episode 7 opens up in the aftermath of Ngoba's death. The Zulu brothers arrive at the taxi rank, wreaking havoc, trying to find out who's responsible for their brother's death. Some taxi driver association members take responsibility for Ngoba's death, but the brothers don't seem convinced and decide to head back home and regroup. Meanwhile, at Ngoba's place, hlomu arrives to console Mandisa. Mandisa is inconsolable and notifies hlomu that she intends to bury Ngoba in Joburg and not KZN according to tradition. Back in Rustenburg, the chief reassures the man Naledi was supposed to marry that she will return and follow through with her obligation. The chief also briefs the family that the news of what happened at the wedding must not get out, suggesting they pretend that Naledi fell ill. Back at the Zulu home, preparations are underway for Ngoba's funeral, and an uncle and aunt from KZN have arrived to help with the traditional side of things. Kawe is giving off Mcele Season 1 vibes, as him and Naledi get into an argument about not being honest about each other's families. Weirdly enough, we also find out that Naledi smokes, which Kawe also doesn't approve with. The episode ends when the Zulu brothers and their uncle arrive at the mortuary to clean Ngoba's body, but find that Mandisa has already begun the process. Episode 8 picks up at the mortuary, with the Zulu brothers and their uncle kicking Mandisa out and proceeding with cleaning Ngoba's body. Back at the Zulu home, Naledi is getting a cooking lesson from the Zulu brothers' aunt. Kawe arrives with an apology gift, a Tswana to Zulu dictionary, as the two reconciled after their little fight in the first episode. Mcele begins to question his leadership skills, but hlomu reassures him that he is doing the best he can under the circumstances. It was an episode of heart-to-hearts, as Sambulo and X also had a moment. Having a woman in his life is really bringing out another side of Sambulo, and it looks like wedding bells are on the horizon. Episode 8 ends with huge fireworks. Just as the Zulu brothers and their uncle arrived at the mortuary to collect Ngoba's body and take it to KZN for burial, Mandisa arrives with police officers and reveals that her and Ngoba were legally married. This was a big revelation. Personally, I don't think Ngoba was the type to disregard tradition and get married in secret, but I must admit it does work for the story. Episode 9 picks up in the mortuary, with Mandisa starting a war with the Zulu brothers, stating her legal intent to bury Ngoba in Joburg. Back at the Zulu home, it's the day of Ngoba's funeral, and the brothers feel powerless at this point as they explore legal ways to prevent Mandisa from burying Ngoba in Joburg. Ngoba's funeral begins, and it's being held at the taxi rank. Just as proceedings were about to start, Ubudumdala Nkosana makes a grand entrance and immediately starts reasserting his authority, blaming Mcele for allowing things to fall apart while he was away. Despite the Zulu brothers trying to plead with Mandisa and attempting to legally block her, the funeral is allowed to go ahead as planned. The Zulu brothers nonetheless attend the funeral, where Ngoba's son spoke beautifully. When it was time for Mandisa to speak, things went off the rails as she challenged the Zulu brothers in front of everyone, openly calling them gangsters and criminals. She continued to speak ill of the family until Nkosana couldn't take it anymore and left in the middle of the service. At the end of the service, it was revealed that Detective Baloyi is still investigating the family. The episode ends at the Zulu home with the Zulu brothers having an after tears for Ngoba, and they're visibly disappointed they couldn't bring their brother back to KZN. Another strong 3 episodes. It was really the Mandisa show today, as she dealt a painful blow to the Zulu brothers. 2 things which are certain about the wife: are weddings and funerals, and looks like there's a wedding to celebrate next week. We'll be back with another review. I know my voice was a bit shaky today, but I haven't been feeling too well. I hope you guys were able to bear with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is ASR, for the love of African filmmaking and storytelling.